Let's do more rookie content, talking 3 under the radar rookies that you need to be aware of. I think these are 3 guys you're going to see rise pretty consistently over the next few months as everybody starts to dig into rookies here. The first one being MarShawn Lloyd out of USC, and he's not flashy. Let's just get that out of the way. MarShawn Lloyd is not a flashy pick, but he is a very, very solid running back. What he brings to the table is consistent running between the tackles. He chops his feet a little bit at the line sometimes, but typically his patience rewards him, and he does well reading blocks. That is what MarShawn Lloyd does very well. He's an above average pass catcher. I think 20 to 40 catches is very much in the range of outcomes for him at the next level. He's never going to be a Jahmyr Gibbs type. He's not going to be Bijan Robinson with a path to 60 to 70 receptions. That's just not going to be his play style. And that's okay, because again, for a day 3 running back, being able to be consistent between the tackles and be dangerous enough to catch a few passes, that's what I care about. And then the big piece with all of it that isn't really a fantasy stat that we're going to track, but it's something to be aware of, is his pass blocking. He grades out as a very, very good pass blocker. And again, if you go on day 3, you have to have something that helps you stick, something that gives coaches a reason to put you on the field. That's what pass blocking is, right? It's like the same thing with Roschon Johnson. The reason he's carved out a role in Chicago pretty quickly was his ability to pass block. And did he turn into a superstar? No, of course not. But he's had good moments. And I think MarShawn Lloyd could have that same kind of trajectory. And I think realistically, he could be a Dameon Pierce in year 1. Not year 2 Dameon Pierce, who just completely faded away, but year 1 Dameon Pierce, where he could be the starter in the right situation and produce given volume. That's what MarShawn Lloyd could bring. Switching over to the wide receiver position here, we have Malachi Corley coming in at 5'11", roughly 210 is what he's in at before combine. He comes in projected 4.5 speed and is a player that I think the more we learn about him, the more people are going to like him. Because when you watch him on tape, he is just electric. He is so damn fun with the ball in his hands. And they've done a very, very good job of making sure they put the ball in his hands consistently. As a sophomore, he puts up 1,200 yards, right? He does it through incredible contact balance, great athleticism, and honestly, good offensive scheme. Like they did, like I said, a very good job of getting him the ball in his hands. Where he needs to improve is going to be the route running. It's just the technique is not where it needs to be. Assuming reception perception ends up covering him, he's a guy we need to monitor, because if he grades out as a great route runner, I'm happy to be wrong on that, but it just doesn't look like he's going to be that on day 1. The good thing is they gave him a full route tree. Like they gave him the opportunity to run a full complement of routes. They're not just using him in those gadgety type plays, which you typically see with wide receivers that don't have a ton of, route technician type traits. He could have a very Rashee Rice type rookie season in the right situation if he goes on day 2 and a team actually commits to letting him learn and grow and uses him to his full kind of ability in year 1, while also slowly bringing him along and letting him turn into that route runner. I think he very well could be, given his size, his speed, his athleticism, all the traits you look for in a day 2 wide receiver. And our last player, I don't even know if he's really under the radar in a traditional sense, but I think we need to talk about him still. And it's Ja'Tavion Sanders, the tight end 2 in this class. Now, he's not getting the publicity, he's not getting the love, because he's not Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is a superstar. There's no question about it. Ja'Tavion Sanders very well could be a fantasy superstar at the next level. Currently, he's listed at 6'4", 243. The projected 40 time is in the 4.5 range, which if you're 6'4", 243, running in the 4.5s, you're a freak. Like, you're a freak of nature. He's athletic, he is agile, and while he may not have that top end gear to go and burn like DBs, he's not going to burn a lot of corners, obviously. He's not going to burn most safeties, but he's going to be a matchup nightmare on linebackers. That is what he brings to the table. And given his size, he's a phenomenal route runner. Like, that is where he's going to make his money. He could be a very Trey McBride-esque type player who earns a really high target share, but isn't necessarily like a true touchdown machine, which is kind of counterintuitive to what we look for at the tight end position. But he's big enough and a good enough route runner that he'll find ways to get open in the middle of the field and likely around the end zone, assuming he lands in a good scheme with a coach that's willing to utilize the tight end in a Travis Kelce-esque way. Like that's the ultimate ceiling. Probably not realistic, but that's what he could be if he lands with, I don't know, Andy Reid in the second or third round while they're trying to get Patrick Mahomes more weapons. All right, guys, that is all we have. Again, it's early in rookie season. There's going to be a ton more of this coming out. So subscribe, like the video. If you've got questions, you got comments, drop them down below. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.